But yes, I agree with you. Do not get your hopes up high like I'm going to be the best shit since sliced bread. Because guess what? I had that in my mind and I went all the way down. And I had to pick myself back up and realize I had to accept the humility. I had to be humble. It was a very humbling experience having really high 15 minutes of fame where everybody loves you and kisses your ass to nobody caring about you, nobody wanting to know your name. That's a very great lesson, but not everybody can take that pain. It's hard pain.
Fame is a drug.
Fame's a drug, but the pain's a drug too. Like for me, I liked that pain. It helped me learn. It helped me become a better human. It helped me become a better performer. It helped me be 10 steps ahead of the game. It helped me blame myself, not everybody else. It helped me take my career in my own hands, not rely on every network to make it for me. Because guess what? Networks aren't here to make you or break you, and they're not here to they're here to make a show and money. And if you fit the mold, great. And if you don't, you gotta make it for yourself. You can't be like, well, I'm gonna wait till Bravo calls me next time. I didn't wait for that moment when I was on Housewives of New York with my show, with my live podcast with Luann. I worked hard to make that happen.
Yeah.
I had to work hard to prove to Bravo again that I'm a good fit for that episode. It's just not easy to be on TV. If everyone says like I could have made that show better, you really don't understand what it is to just make it an entertainment industry. It's one of the hardest, most cutthroat industries in the world to just get someone to even care and pay attention about you. I don't, that's what I can say.
No, and to your point, the network, and this has nothing to do with Bravo, just any network, like they don't give a fuck. Like you want to speak out, you want to be difficult, just move along because here's your replacement. It's really that simple. Except for I don't even know if there's any exceptions. I mean, honestly.
There are no exceptions because here's the thing. I love Bravo because they gave me a chance. I respect them because they believed in me. But in no way, shape, or form did they do anything wrong. It's all, what we have to realize is we have our own mind. We create our own destiny with the higher power. You can't blame every single thing going wrong because if you do something wrong, if you speak out of line, you need to take that ownership. It's not the network's fault.
No,
That's my
it's
point.
not.
And that's what I had
agree.
to learn. I had to learn that like I have to just change my brand and I have to like be more appealing and just be a different person in order to be accepted back on TV.
So after you got this show and you were like, oh my God, my dream is coming true, which I mean, listen, I'm being signed to a production company and having them be like, it's Bravo. That's a pretty big deal. Yeah. When you guys were filming, how was that? Like, did you feel this was natural? Were the producers like, were they involved? Did you feel like they were trying to like create the drama? Like, how was the actual filming process for you?
The filming process was my favorite process. I love the filming process because with our specific show, it was the most organic. No, producers did not get involved as much as they do on other shows with our show. They really sat back and again, because there was so much history. There was so many talking story points that were so real and raw. And we were such a raw, natural cast. Each of us individually are so special, I think, because we each brought such a raw, natural element to it. They didn't have to really get involved. What they would do with us is they would say, guys, we know that you have an event at 5 o'clock. It's Ashley's birthday. We need you guys there. And, Chanel, I know that you want to get a lot of stuff off your chest. If you want, you can. Like, they're basically the journalists behind the scenes. They want to tell our truth, our side. But how are we going to listen? Off camera, look how confrontation is so awkward. People barely tell each other when they're mad at each other. People barely tell each other when they're hurt. How are you going to go on reality TV and be fake? You can't. You need someone behind the scenes telling you, hey, this is your moment. If you're really that upset, you need to communicate so you can help others relate to you and that person, and you can help resolve the situation at hand. And then you can all be better humans for that. It's not just for the drama. What people fail to realize, what Bravo and other networks in production is so great at, they're great at bringing people together and resolving issues where other people in real life have, so that others can look at us as examples and learn from them. That's all. That's what it is. And so I loved filming because it was so natural what was happening. I wasn't acting. I love acting, but this was separate. I was able to be who I was. I was able to cry when I wanted to cry. It was therapeutic. I was able to communicate with my castmates how they really hurt me in real life on a platform where they could really hear me out. I was able to touch other people's hearts by making them feel less alone because they felt that was my authentic self when I broke up with my boyfriend on the show, and I felt very vulnerable and I expressed that. I was able to express to my family how I feel like the black sheep sometimes, and like the I feel like when it comes to my family, I felt like, especially during filming, that they weren't understanding who I was as a person. But it helped us communicate better after the show. So I loved filming. I thought it was something that was therapeutic for someone like me because I like the truth. I like to face the truth on a daily basis. I don't
And
know if that's for everybody.
and look, to your point, maybe if you and I were filming a reality show, it wouldn't have taken us all these months to reconnect and apologize on the Behind the Velvet Rope podcast.
There you go. We would have
But there you
probably
go.
hashed it out, and then we would have laughed and hugged, and then we would have got a cocktail, and I would have paid for it this time. This time I would have.
You're never gonna let me live that down, are you?
I'm never. By the way,
Oh my
it was
God.
2 drinks. It was 2 drinks, and I ended up getting you a drink at the Loverboy party. Remember, to make up for that.
Yes, I did. The
But
Loverboy launch.
The
Yes, which was a great experience. Hanging out with Kyle and Carl and all those wonderful people.
They're
Now
amazing.
we love them. Now here's a question. When you were, well, I guess not when you were filming. So then the show came out. You loved filming. The show came out. Talk to me about that, because you're talking about like 15 minutes of fame and how they were going to make this a franchise. Like, did you go from being like, I'm now walking in New York City and I can't walk down the street? Was it that immediate, or tell me about, or did it was a build up?
So the fame for Princesses of Long Island in 2013, it was like instant. I mean, I went out of the house. There was fans in front of my house, which that never happens. I live in a very private area in Great Neck. It's very hard to find that area. It's like a cul-de-sac, so you can't really get through it without security. There would be fans outside. There would be cars driving back and forth. I would go to lunch with my dad. I mean, there was times where I was like, I don't even know if I'm ready for fame, because I thought I was ready, but I literally would want, because I'm an introvert. Like, even though I'm an extrovert, I'm also an introvert. So I'd have lunch with my dad, and he'd want to, like, I have like just a daughter, private daughter father lunch, and I'd have people coming up left and right. I couldn't even eat a bite of my salad. It would be that great. I mean, I don't even want to call it bad. It was that awesome that people would just like want pictures. They'd want autographs. And I finally felt like, wow, I got to my point. I got to my hype. I got my big break, because from that I knew I could have been doing acting in movies, and other things would have stemmed, hosting. The opportunities would have been limitless and endless. So it was instant fame. It was crazy. I couldn't really go anywhere. I think at one point, I'm not even kidding, we hired security for events because there were a lot of guys and girls that just, when we would go into clubs at the time when it was hyped, I'm talking about when it was airing, when it was super hyped, loved us or hated us. It was like we had to order security. I remember for this one event, because we were scared that like everybody would like get in our way. It was physically, they didn't mean anything by it, but even when you see the Kim Kardashians walking out and like she was suffocating because there were so many people around her, that's the feeling sometimes when you have a lot of fame thrown at you and you're not ready.
Well, like the Jersey Shore kids in the,
Right,
now, but even in the
example
beginning, like
too.
Snooki, if you get that whole cast, like when that cast comes to New York, I've been at events, Solo is big, but together the cast is, you can't walk down the street. I mean, when little Snook is popping herself down the street, come on now.
Right. And now you would say, oh my God, you were just one season. How come, why did that happen for you? Again, because we had so much press for that one season, and we had so much hype, whether you loved us or hated us. Again, that's when, when you're on breaking news, or you become the victim of breaking news or the subject of breaking news, you're going to get, again, love us or hate us, you're going to get a lot of people wanting autographs. You're going to get a lot of attention. And so it's a good and a bad thing. You have to be ready for it.